So as we saw in the last episode, heavenly punishment was raining down on Yang Kang in the form of ice. In the meantime, to help the common people, Chinmo set his heavenly demon sect to work and headed towards the ancient ruins of Great Daju. However, on the way, he started getting attacked. Many powerful cultivators from various different factions began trying their best to eliminate him, but somehow Chinmo managed to escape from their clutches. Now, moving forward, this episode begins in the heart of Sin City, where we find that Chinmo has severely injured a cultivator. After that, he returns to his flying carriage. He knew that all these factions had formed an alliance to eliminate him, and all these enemies were higher level cultivators, a level Chinmo had not yet reached. That means, in terms of power, Chinmo was much weaker compared to them, and just then, a very strong aura was released and heavenly swords began to appear. The intense aura of those flying swords caused their ship to lose balance. Chinmo's flying carriage started moving forward, hitting each flying sword along the way, and as for Hu Ling, the poor thing was left hanging by a rope. She started complaining that they were paying a huge price just to celebrate the new year. Meanwhile, when Chinmo saw that several flying swords were about to hit his carriage from below, he immediately moved the dragon Keelan aside and took control of the ship himself. But even then, his flying carriage came into contact with the flying sword, causing Chinmo's ship to be completely damaged, and finally, his enemy appeared before him, riding on a flying sword. But still, it was impossible for him to stop Chinmo. He quickly turned his ship and started moving forward at great speed. He was doing everything he could to save the flying carriage. But it's not just one enemy here. There's an entire army of enemies who are relentlessly pursuing him. They were trying to crush Chinmo and his ship between two massive flying swords. At this point, there was absolutely no way out for Chinmo. He couldn't turn back, nor could he move forward. So he started pleading with the heavenly demon god to come out quickly and help him. But the demon god was actually enjoying watching him struggle. He sat there comfortably and told Chinmo, "After all, I am the supreme ruler of the heavenly realm, and you expect me to save the life of an ordinary cultivator like you. Why would I ever do that? At the very least, you should have enough sense to say please in front of a supreme ruler. If you say please, then maybe I'll come help you." Now Chinmo had no other option, so, forced and angry, he said, "Please come out and help me." And as soon as the demon god heard his request, he immediately came out of the storage bag. As soon as he released his demonic energy, every flying sword present there vanished instantly. Seeing this, all the cultivators were deeply and truly shocked. They simply couldn't believe that Chinmo had a demon god with him. Well, as soon as the demon god appeared, Chinmo increased the speed of his flying carriage, and no one dared to chase after him. At the same time, a strange liquid substance began to fall from the sky, and seeing it, the sword cultivator was extremely surprised. She had never seen anything like it before, and in that moment, the substance fell on her. She tried to clean it off, but by then it was already too late. The demon god said to her, "You are just an ordinary sword cultivator. You have practiced the cold sword, which means your body must be completely cold. So why don't I try to warm your body up just a little bit? You have kept yourself very well under control by constantly restraining your emotions. But it's all right. Now you can set your desires free." And at that moment, the sword cultivator, in a dazed state, began to take off her clothes. The demon god was saying, "If only I had a little more time. Then in just a short while, I would have fully unleashed all your desires, and you would have been completely and utterly lost in my demonic path." But then another cultivator used their spell to free the captive from the demon god's clutches. The captive felt deeply ashamed of herself for having fallen so easily into the demon god's trap. Not only that, but she started telling her companions that Chinmo's ship was fleeing from here at great speed. "I don't think we'll be able to catch that person." To this, another person replied, "Don't worry about him. Catching the leader of the heavenly demon sect is a mission for all of us. For this, countless sects from the martial world have formed alliances with each other, so Chinmo's troubles are not going to end anytime soon." And Chinmo himself was well aware of this. He says that so far we've only faced ordinary cultivators. Their powerful leaders have yet to face us in battle, and just then, a very dangerous energy slash strikes Chinmo's flying carriage. As a result, Chinmo's carriage exploded and he was forced to quickly get out of his carriage. Chinmo, surprised, explained that this flying carriage was made of a very special iron hull. If it ended up like this with just one slash, then that person must definitely be a master of the heavenly realm. After that, he told the dragon Killin to quickly increase its speed. We need to get out of here as fast as possible. The dragon Killin was also running away with them at great speed. But after a short while, it becomes completely exhausted. So he told Chinmo and Hu Ling that both of them should reduce their weight as quickly as possible. You two are way too heavy. As soon as she heard this, Hu Ling immediately rushed over to argue with him. She said that we're not the fat ones, you are. If you still don't increase your speed, you'll end up as someone's meal at the New Year's feast. And just then, several slashes started being released at them, which the dragon Killin was dodging here and there by moving its head. But by then, several slashes had already reached to hit it all at once. So the dragon Killin released its fire, causing a powerful explosion there, which destroyed all of that cultivator's slashes. At the same time, Chinmo activated his heavenly eye and located that master, immediately realizing that this was a cultivator of the heavenly realm, which means that escaping from here would be next to impossible. He couldn't deceive him like he did with the other cultivators, and just then Chinmo started sensing evil energy a short distance away. He immediately realizes that countless demons and gods must have been killed at this very location. Thousands of years ago, a bloody and brutal battle took place here. That's why Chinmo immediately orders the dragon Killin to stop there. Upon hearing this, the poor dragon Killin finally felt relieved. Now, as soon as Chinmo lands on the ground, he activates his power. He had decided that he would face all the cultivators right at this spot. So Chinmo immediately used his energy to toss the bones lying there into the air. At the same time, Hu Ling spun her tail rapidly, creating a strong flow of air, and that airflow combined with all the bones to form a platform, which is called the demon altar. Now, as soon as the demon god saw this altar, he immediately started buttering up Chinmo. He was saying, "Kid, if you summon my true form here, then I can wipe all of them out in just 1 second. You also know very well that it won't take me any time at all to finish off these fools." So Chinmo immediately opened his storage bag as well. As soon as he reached out his hand, the demon god was overjoyed because he thought he could return to this world again. But immediately, he realized that this kid was actually quite cunning. Chinmo hadn't picked him, but had picked up another demon god instead. Seeing this, the demon god's ego was hurt. But he kept telling Chinmo that this demon god wasn't nearly as powerful as he was. In the heavenly realm, he's actually my junior, so I don't think he'll be of much use to you here. However, Chinmo completely ignored what he said and began his ritual. Well, this time he was about to summon the bear demon god. As he chanted his demonic mantras, all the evil energy in the area began to gather into the statue. And that's exactly why Chinmo had chosen this location. So he could use the evil energy present on this ancient battlefield to his advantage. By then, the Taoist master had also arrived there. The moment he saw the demon altar, he was extremely shocked. At the same time, Hu Ling, panicking, started telling Chinmo that the wretched man had arrived and urged him to hurry up. Here, the Taoist master, in anger, told Chinmo that he wanted to summon the demon god, which was against the rules of this world. You have completely trampled on the righteous path, and now, activating his Dharma form, he said that someone as evil as you has no right to live. That's why, on behalf of heaven, I myself will punish you. In the battle at Daxiang County, you killed so many of my friends, so today you will pay for that as well. Meanwhile, Hu Ling started telling Dragon Killin that until this ritual is completed, you will have to pass the time with this guy. Go quickly and take him for a little walk. But Dragon Killin immediately refused to do it. Even though Dragon Killin may look fierce, when it comes to courage, he's even weaker than Hu Ling. As soon as he refused, Hu Ling started threatening him. Seeing this, poor Dragon Killin immediately headed towards the Taoist master. Mustering up all of his courage, he launched an attack on the Taoist master with his fire. Dragon Killin hoped that his fire attack would burn this Dharma form to ashes. But that's not what happened in the end. Even the demon god was a little impressed after seeing the Taoist master's power. He was saying that if Dragon Killin still doesn't back off, this guy will turn him into mincemeat in just a few seconds. And Dragon Killin also knew that his life was in danger. But even then, he doesn't back down. He was nimbly dodging back and forth, countering his opponent's powerful energy attacks. But by then, that guy had already managed to easily capture Dragon Killen. At the same time, that Taoist master started telling him that if I wanted, I could finish you off easily. But I won't do that, because my enmity is not with you, but with your master. If you don't want to lose your life for no reason at all, then quietly surrender to me. Now, seeing Dragon Killen trapped in his clutches, Kinmo ordered the demon god to quickly go and distract that powerful Taoist master a little. But has it ever happened that the demon god immediately follows Kinmo's orders? He started telling Kinmo that you've completely trapped me in this tin can. With this on, I won't be able to use my true power. That's why I won't fight that Taoist master, because I have no desire at all to die. Hearing this, Kinmo also began blackmailing him. He said, "Remember one thing. There's only one person in this entire world who can summon you here, and that person is me. If I get killed, then you'll never be able to come to this world again. But if you help me out, I won't let you down in any way either." And with that, Kinmo set down 2 celestial treasures in front of him, so they could be utilized in the upcoming demon god battle. Seeing all this, the demon god started thinking to himself that this kid wants me to fight the Taoist master, and if I go to help him, he'll completely relax, and then, as soon as the right opportunity comes, I'll be able to finish him off too. That way, I'll finally be free from this kid's clutches. But then his attention turned to his own body. Well, who knows how many mechanisms Kinmo had set up in this bronze body. And that's when the demon god realized that if I kill Kinmo, these mechanisms will be locked down forever and my soul will never be able to escape from this demon god statue. And then the Taoist master will also take control of me. It would be better for me to just listen to Kinmo. First, I'll deal with this Taoist master. We'll figure out the rest of the plan later. Meanwhile, that Taoist master had badly injured the Dragon Killen and thrown it down. The master thought to himself that this formidable beast had already reached the pinnacle of the 7th ranking. I don't think Kinmo has any other alliances besides this. Maybe the heavenly demon is so busy helping ordinary people that he hasn't paid any attention to his sect leader. Poor Kinmo is going to die alone today. Meanwhile, the Dragon Killen realized it hadn't been slammed to the ground because the demon god had caught it. And now, tossing it aside, he charged straight toward the Taoist master. As soon as he got there, he started hitting the Taoist master with punches using his demonic powers. At the same time, he was taking full advantage of the functions of his bronze body. But his attacks had no effect on the Taoist master. He was easily countering the puppet's relentless attacks. And then, with a single powerful kick, he pushed him back quite a distance. However, the demon god somehow managed to compose himself and took out the Gyokin. Although it was a celestial treasure, after merging with the demon god's evil energy, its slashes also turned into evil power. And now, by wielding that Gyokin, the demon god created a massive tower of evil energy there. Countless dangerous evils began to emerge from that Gyokin. They angrily demanded to know who dared to awaken them, and then as soon as that evil entity saw the Taoist master in front of it, it realized that he was the one who had awakened it. At the same time, the Taoist master was also extremely surprised to see this ancient treasure. He said that this is the ancient Gyokin, which was made thousands of years ago from the wood of the tree spirit. If I get my hands on this powerful rare treasure, it will be amazing. In other words, that person now had yet another excuse to eliminate Kinmo. Meanwhile, the entity that emerged from the Gyokin was extremely powerful. It began to torture the Taoist master using its sound waves. So that person quickly used his true essence to attack the entity, and the attack was so powerful that the entity was destroyed right there. At the same time, that Taoist master also asserted his dominance over the demon god. His yin-yang energy spread across the entire area like a net, and now that yin-yang power began to attack the demon god. Even though the demon god had formed a powerful shield around himself, he still couldn't counter the relentless attacks of the yin-yang energy. And finally, after a fierce clash, the demon god was also wounded and thrown down. Struggling, the demon god began to say that you have insulted a supreme ruler. You have no idea how dangerous I truly am, and now that you've angered this king, prepare yourself to face the consequences. Anyway, here the demon god sets up the 1,000 pagoda inside his demonic artifact. That means he had used 2 combined treasures. And now with a single powerful punch, he activated the pagoda's hidden powers, which were effectively countering that guy's formidable yin-yang power. The Taoist master was also extremely shocked to see this treasure. The power of his yin-yang sigil collapsed right before his eyes, and now it was his turn next. The Thousand Pagoda immediately released its immense divine pressure on the formidable opponent, trapping him inside. Seeing this, the Taoist master was overcome with a sense of panic. The Thousand Pagoda had countless layers, all of which began releasing heavenly pressure, pushing the Taoist master downward, and in no time at all, the entire tower caught fire. At this point, the Taoist master had no way to escape, as the blazing fire rapidly advanced to attack him. The Taoist master quickly activated his ancient yin-yang sigil. He was using it effectively like a protective shield. At the same time, that person reactivated his divine Dharma form, which was now extremely huge in size. Now, using a powerful palm attack, he began to push the golden pagoda downward. However, the demon god doesn't let that happen. He too came from the other side, trying to keep the pagoda steady. Anyway, both of them were testing the full extent of their strength here. But the demon god did not have his true form. He jumped into this battle relying only on his soul trace, and taking advantage of this, the Taoist master completely overpowered him. He directly clashed the pagoda onto the demon god. As soon as the demon god was suppressed under the pagoda, the master began to release his heavenly pressure from above. He wanted to use this very pagoda to remove the demon god from his path, and finally, after the demon god was completely subdued, that Dharma form released its pressure. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kinmo was still chanting demon mantras, trying to complete his ritual, and luckily, he had now reached the final stage of this ritual. By the time the Taoist master could reach him, Kinmo had already completed his ritual, and then a very strong demon energy was released, from which the bear demon king appeared, who looked extremely terrifying and dominating. His furious roar caused the entire mountainous area to shake. Here, the dragon Qilin was so scared that he hid behind Kinmo. Anyway, at this point, the bear demon king started saying, "Why have you ordinary humans summoned me here? Do you want to completely destroy your own realm? If I have been summoned here without a good reason, then you will have to pay the price for it." And just then his gaze fell upon the demon god of the heavenly realm. Seeing him in an injured state, the demon king started laughing loudly and mocking him. He was saying, "Old man, you're useless now. You think you're the supreme ruler of the heavenly realm. But even then, a mere mortal has completely humiliated you. You should be ashamed of yourself." After that, he started saying to Kinmo, "Summoner, since you have called me here, tell me, what will you sacrifice? I don't like doing things for free, so tell me, where is my offering?" So Kinmo quickly pointed at the Taoist master and said, "I want to offer this man as a sacrifice for you." As soon as he heard this, the demon king immediately attacked the Taoist master. With just one punch, the man was slammed straight to the ground. Right there, the demon king was quite impressed by his powers. He was saying, "This is a very delicious little worm. I'll enjoy eating him." But just then, a flying sword came straight through and pierced the demon god's chest. Well, the Taoist master had launched a sneak attack on the demon king to finish him off. But the demon king started laughing loudly and began praising his sword technique. He was saying, "Wow, you've impressed me once again. Your sword technique was amazing, but I'm not present in my true form. That's why you can't do me any harm." And now he started releasing countless demonic fists and said that no one can kill a statue, and then he began to beat the Taoist master like a punching bag. If any ordinary cultivator were to witness the speed of the demon god, they would have a heart attack on the spot. And now, as he was raining down thousands upon thousands of punches, practically turning the Taoist master into pulp, suddenly another cultivator made an entrance. That person used his energy to unleash countless slashes at the Demon King. And even though the Demon King tried, he couldn't block those attacks, and finally, that person arrived at the scene. He was saying to the Taoist master, "Brother, forgive me. I was a little late in getting here." And now we can see that the blows he struck at the Demon King's neck have severed it. The Demon King's large head began to fall to the ground, and seeing this, Kinmo also became a bit anxious, because the Demon King is his last hope for survival. If he is finished too, then Kinmo won't be able to handle these two cultivators alone. But as the Demon King had mentioned that this wasn't his real body but just a stone statue, he quickly grabbed his severed head and reattached it back to his body. Laughing loudly, he said, Well, it seems another dog has arrived here. Well, this guy's name is Lo Wenshu, and he was a true disciple of the Confucian sect. Greeting Chinmo, he began to say, I am Master Chang's direct disciple, leader of the heavenly demon sect. Please accept my greetings. He also tells Chinmo that his master is very troubled after seeing the state of this world. Heavenly punishment has begun to descend upon the Yankang nation, causing many innocent people to suffer for no reason, and the cause of this heavenly catastrophe is your heavenly demon sect. That's why my master sent me here, so that I could eliminate the leader of the heavenly demon sect. So I hope that when I attack, Senior Chinmo will not take it personally. To this, Chinmo replied, saying that he knows your Master Chang very well. If he wanted to punish me, he should have come here himself. But instead, he's sending his disciples here. Why would a great sect leader like me bother to face ordinary cultivators like you? That would be an insult to my dignity. To this, Wenshu said that we had no intention of offending you. In fact, Master Chang was going to come here himself, but he had to attend to some urgent matters. It is our duty to save common people from heavenly punishment. So Chinmo, amazed, asked him to explain how his master was going to save the common people. Because as far as I know, it is my heavenly demon sect that is rescuing the people of Yangkang. We have not encountered any individuals from other sects there. To this, Wenshu replied that our master's method is somewhat unique. All the new rules that were established in Yangkang will have to be abolished, and an apology must be made to heaven. If the sins are confessed, then perhaps heaven will give Yangkang a new chance. So, upon hearing Wenshu's words, Chinmo fell into deep thought. He thinks that the new rules in Yangkang were established by the emperor and the imperial advisor themselves. Now, the imperial advisor has disappeared from Yangkang without a trace. This would mean that these people are going to assassinate the same person. So Chinmo started telling Wenshu that he thinks your Master Chang wants to kill the emperor of Yangkang. That would be a very serious crime. Do you really want to commit this? Well, as soon as he heard about the plan to assassinate the emperor, the Taoist master also became extremely panicked. This means that even he had no idea about these people's real plan. Now Chinmo started telling Wenshu that your master had promised the imperial advisor that they would not interfere in the matters of this world. So how can your master break his own promise? You have always considered yourselves a righteous sect, but you don't even care about your own promises. Now, even Wenshu was at a total loss for how to respond to this. Eliminating the emperor of a nation would be nothing short of treason. And just then, another cultivator arrived there. She started telling Chinmo that this world is extremely important to us. To save it, sometimes we have to break our own promises. Anyway, I am Qingyu, a cultivator from Lingzhu Palace, and I have come here to kill the leader of the heavenly demon sect. Well, Qingyu said all this with her head bowed. To this, Chinmo says, since you've come to kill me anyway, what's the point of all these useless formalities? To which Qingyu replied that even with our enemies, we do not behave disrespectfully. If they are our enemies, that means they must have at least some ability. If I attack the leader of the heavenly demon sect without any greetings, that would not be appropriate at all. It would seem as if we are murdering a child who is weaker than us. To be honest, you're actually quite young, and you haven't really achieved anything significant in cultivation either. But still, you are the master of the heavenly demon sect, which means in terms of ranking, you have surpassed all of us. So don't think of our strikes as bullying you. Chinmo began to say to them that you are breaking your promise for the sake of saving this world. But when the vicious demons attacked this world, you didn't care at all about saving it. These demons have always been mercilessly bullying humans. So why didn't you just destroy those demons completely? At that time, you were following your rules, saying that we shouldn't interfere in this world, and now all of a sudden your conscience has awakened. Anyway, I also know that you've brought several other people with you, so there's no need for them to hide either. Come out in front of me quickly. And just then, a head swiftly passed by Chinmo. Well, this head belonged to a Zen master named Pushan. He started telling Chinmo that his heavenly demon sect had committed countless sins, and that's why he, Pushan, had come here directly to help lighten the burden of the heavenly demon sect's master a little. After eliminating you, your karmic burden will be slightly reduced. In this way, you will attain peace in your next life. And now, we were shown another master who belongs to the beggar sect. He started saying, my name is Liu Sempa, and I am the master of the Lotus Hall of the beggar sect. Although my main goal was to eliminate you, the fox demon with you will also have to die because she once offended our master. As soon as she heard this, Hu Ling started fighting with that person. She was saying, your master is a complete fool, and as long as my master Chinmo is alive, you can't do anything to me. And as soon as she said this, she went back and hid in Chinmo's pocket again. Well, at this point, Chinmo was extremely troubled. In front of him, not one, not two, but 5 heavenly rank masters were standing. Even if Chinmo wanted to, he couldn't fight them all at once, and those people knew this very well too. At that moment, the Taoist master, feeling pleased, began to say that today, because of me, the master of the heavenly demon sect will die a terrible death. This will prove to be a glorious moment for us. So come on friends, let's join forces and finish this guy off. This is the only way to bring peace to our world. To this, Chinmo replied that you don't actually want to bring peace to this world. If you really wanted to do good deeds, you would help the common people. But that's exactly what my heavenly demon sect is doing. You people are only here for your own benefit, so you can get rid of the emperor, the imperial advisor, and me. Your so-called righteous sect is even more brutal than the demon sect. People like you don't even have the status to come before me and speak. Now, as soon as everyone heard all these things from Chinmo, they began to activate their Dharma forms. They told Chinmo that since he was a demon, his words didn't really matter to them. We, the people of the righteous sect, will definitely establish justice in this world. And then, in the blink of an eye, all 5 of them attacked Chinmo together. So Chinmo also summons the Demon King there. He began to say to him, the great Demon King, I want to offer the sacrifice of all these people before you. Please accept their sacrifice on my behalf. Then the Demon King, puffing out his chest, stood before the 5 of them. And with that, the episode ends here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Take care.